Hello everyone, welcome to Game Changers. As you are aware, this month and this particular season is dedicated to World Women's Day. In fact, the UN has dedicated it as Press for Change. We're talking about women going out, being bold, taking a stand, and empowering each other in the journey. We've had many great women, of course, on many episodes of different parts of the country as well as different parts of the world on different TV shows. But here in Sri Lanka, we've got some of the finest women headlining this episode and this series of Game Changers. In fact, it is my pleasure to have a lady that is considered a pioneer in the beauty industry, but not just the beauty industry. We would see her as one of the finest entrepreneurs of time, also a great endorser when it comes to women, telling them to step out of their comfort zones, take the challenge. She's bold, she's smart, she's strong, and she is Nayana Karunaratne. Thank you for being with us, Mrs. Karunaratne. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for the very good introduction.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have a lady like yourself here. It's a pleasure to be with you. So on this episode, we are going to talk to women out there from all walks of life. And as a woman who has started an industry, I would say who has headed an industry as head of Slahab so many times, as well as a woman who took a stance with many people in the industry, standing out as a business professional as well as one of the leading beauticians. Before we go into the future and the midway of it, I'd like to take you back to the past. Tell me what it was like growing up. What was your childhood like?
I had a pleasant childhood. I think we were middle class family. I lost my father when I was 7 years old, so I think the influence of my mother, who was very strong and who had to take the burden of, she was only 32 with 4 children, and the whole family looked up to her. She herself has had many, I think. She fought herself to go to the university. When she got married and came to Kalaniya, which was my father's town, I think apparently she was the first degree holder lady. So we had a good time. I think my mother had a tough time. I always think we lost not a father but a mother, because she was the father to us. So she really worked hard. She did 3 jobs to keep the family going and helped everyone else also. A very strong lady. So we had a good childhood. Grandparents are fantastic from both sides. In fact, they both lived a longer time. We enjoyed them. We had compulsory Sunday lunches. So we had a good upbringing, I would say.
That's wonderful. And of course, since you actually placed the foundation from one strong woman raising and playing both the role of father and mother to another strong woman who actually has taken a challenge. I think maybe when you started off in your industry and taking things forward, what were the challenges you faced to get to where you were?
See, challenges were many. Lots of people ask this question. I don't know to answer, because now the strong woman I met was Janet. I think it was a similar story like my mother's. She had a bad marriage. She was not a widow but a very bad marriage. Again, 4 children, beautiful woman, strong woman, and lots of influence of hers, super boss, super trainer. So learn from her as well. I think I saw them living day by day, each day. So when you say challenges, every day is a challenge. Now this morning there were 3, 4, 5 problems. They are not problems, they are issues. So but I think if you are focused and if you are clear of what you want, it's fairly easy. Every day is a challenge. Something or the other goes wrong and many things come right also. So if you really sit back and see, there have been many strong hurdles we have passed or jumped or whatever. But at that time, when you are focused on only solving that issue, it happens.
That's true. And then getting into this industry, was this something that you wanted to do always?
Always. I think somewhere between the age of 13 or 14 only this came up, and My mother, of course, the other day she had told the Unilever chairman I was quite shy. I used to wait till my grandmother comes. She used to remove her wig. She had a black and white conde. She had white hair with a black Havaria wig. So I used to play. So we used to have those pole collar plaits, and that I think every child does. So she had said that I had it in my. So by the time I was 15 or before I did my O levels, I was very determined to do this. So after O levels exam, I wanted to do it. I think it was a very hard decision for my mother, and but she let me do it. I think she took a chance. I was on the science stream because I come from a family of chemistry professors. So I was very good in chemistry also. So then she said, you can at least do cosmetology. She told herself, I had no idea what it meant. But when she said, at least you can do cosmetology, I think she convinced herself. Then of course I went into this, but I think the experience she had of being a widow, and she believed that her widowhood was easier to manage than her sisters because she was educated. Life was a bit more easier for her, she believed. So she insisted, all four of us, especially the two girls, me and my sister, she said, you have to be qualified, you have to be employable anytime, anywhere in the world. You don't have to be employed, but employable. So I also did dancing. I did Bharatanatyam dancing. I really liked it. So she told me, take one of the two and be very highly qualified in the chosen field. If you want to do dancing, I'll send you to Chennai, Kalakshetra, or you want to do hairdressing. So I was not very good in Tamil music. I didn't understand Carnatic music. So I got scared of dancing as a future profession, because my teacher was a Sinhalese and fantastic knowledge of music. So I was scared, so I opted for hairdressing, which I think is the first love anyway. And 48 years I am doing this business. Every single day I bless my mother.
I applaud you.
Because as I said before, it's not a job. It's a happy thing to be doing what you are doing. So I really bless my mother. She could have insisted and made me an accountant or some kind of a degree holder. She could have demanded it from me, but she said, I always tell that when I do my lectures also, select the job that you want, but be world class qualified
in what you do.
Not
I know you probably, in your 48 years of a fantastic field of being a headliner, I would say, may have had so many great memories. But when it comes to the start of your journey of getting into this field, what is the one thing that you remember as a fantastic memory or something that was really iconic that you stepped into?
You mean an issue or a memory?
No, something that was a wonderful experience to you. Like as soon as you got into this field, what was the thing that's most memorable to you even today?
I think the very first day of my hairdressing.
Right.
Two things that happened. I was 15 years and 2 months so the appointment was made and I was taken for the first class, and me and my mother sat outside, waited for Janet to come. She took a little time to come, but here walked out an absolute beauty. You know, she was dressed in a sari, makeup and her hair done, and that impressed me. You know, she was dressed for the day very nicely. Then the first lesson was a French pleat, you know, the famous like a cone. I had hair touching my knees. I came home and did that French pleat on my own, and my luck, it came beautifully. Then I also had some plastic flowers which I had worn as a bridesmaid somewhere. I put them on a side and walked right from the garden with my French pleat. I think that was the thing. A week, maybe 5 days later, she says, do my hair. Huh? She said, put my hairstyle. So I put. So, I don't know, she never made say anything. So I put this bump in front and the bun or whatever. So I was shivering 5 days in class, and I think those are the things that made me who I was.
The absolute beauty of your journey.
Really, very, very. I mean, eventually in 1986, I won the long hairstyle competition in in Bangkok. They are happy occasions, but I think these are more memorable.
These are the most memorable
Memorable,
occasions. We're going to take a quick break, but on the other side, I have some very interesting questions with the latter part and the later parts of your journey, especially in being one of the females to lead Slahab. I remember when I saw your name headlining, I was feeling very proud and motivated myself, but we'll get into that shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. This is a very exciting episode. We are here headlining every single woman from every single walk of life out there. This is Game Changers, and of course we're live from the Colombo Courtyard with the lovely Mrs. Nayana Karunaratne. We're going to be back after this short break with more exciting adventures. Hello everybody, welcome back to Game Changers. We are on our exclusive Women's Day edition, and we're here with the lovely Mrs. Nayana Karunaratne, who just took us through a little bit of early life and the first golden memories of getting into this trade. And as I said before we went into the break, I believe the thing that really caught my eye as a young girl when I actually heard your name and I heard that this is the lady headlining Slahab, and I was thinking, wow, isn't this so empowering? A woman heading another group of professionals who are joint men and women, yes, but a lady heading it, that was a lot of pride. How did you feel?
I don't think of now that you say it, you don't realize that you are a lady or a gentleman or anything like that when you do something. And in the field of hairdressing, of course, the relationship between men and women are very, we are very close, aren't we? I mean, the kissing and the hugging and hi and tapping on the back, putting your arm on your shoulder. These are very natural things in the thing. Again, I would another good memory I would say share with you. Those days when we had Miss Sri Lankas, each one was dressed by one person. Each one of us had so in our hearts we had our competition also. Each competitor went to different styles. So I remember at the BMICH, one of the first times, there were 15 or 17 competitors and there were 15 or 17 other elite, the top class. So I remember each one. So Vasa was there, Vasanta from Case. He came and said, "Can I borrow a pin?" Somebody else borrowed my eyebrow pencil. So that's the day I realized that we work together and we are happy. I was happy to give her a pin, somebody else was happy. So we were not very friendly, we knew each other, but we suddenly realized that there was no competition among us. Yes, our competitors were competing, but we had no competition among, I want to hide my hairstyle from her kind of thing. So that was the real beginning, I would say, and that relationship has continued among us. I think, I don't know about the designers, but the hairdressers are quite friendly. So that would be one reason, but then lady gentleman thing never came up, you know. I didn't realize it.
Okay, and now since you've seen obviously 48 wonderful years of this industry, and just like every industry, I think when it first started there was a select few, and today you just get a plethora of people doing different things or sometimes the same thing in different levels, charging different pricing. What's your viewpoint of this?
It's an issue actually. It's a problem that we are trying to sort out, and it's a little difficult to sort out because we don't have government support. The good and the bad of the whole situation. Yes, we were one of the first. I think Ramsi, myself and Ramani were the first three who brought in the foreign influence. That happened not because we were cleverer than the others, but I think that's the time that the economy opened up, 1977-78. So we were able to travel and study. So, and we were very busy. We had enough and more work, and then our own staff itself have spread out and opened up. Plus, which was healthy competition. Now what has happened is we have another generation of bridal dressing people. Majority of them are boys, men, and they are not qualified. They are not qualified, and they are very talented. very hardworking, very talented, very focused, but they are not qualified. And it's a huge amount of money that they earn, and which is again good, there's nothing wrong. But I don't know, I think the caliber has dropped. Bridal industry has become a carnival, and it's become a joke. The photographers have made it a bit of a joke. Everybody's gone into the show aspect of it, and I find it very sad that most of the girls are getting ready for weddings and never marriages. So and the amount of money that is spent is enormous. It's okay to spend money if you can afford it. If you can afford it, there's no point in spending money by borrowing, because you can still be a beautiful bride and have a nice wedding at the level that you are in. So that has gone haywire. It's a bit of a mess. I'm worried about that. Second thing is, the government is doing skills education, which is, I think, fantastic. The way it started in again to 1977-78, the purpose was to develop the skills industry. Now, forget the hairdressers. When you go to any other country, see the way the carpenters and the plumbers and the woodworkers, how respectable and successful, vegetable vendors, how they are in life. So it's a good thing, but unfortunately again it's not done properly. So we are having a little sort of quarter-baked, half-baked, not properly educated people, which is a bit of a problem for the industry. And our industry has some issues. One is that we sell satisfaction. We don't sell anything else. We sell satisfaction. Second most dangerous and important thing is, I never compare ourselves to doctors. We respect doctors for the education they go through, the knowledge they have and the job they do. But we are the only ones next to the doctors who's allowed to touch a human body, even externally. We are the only other profession that touches the human body. We treat the hair, we treat the skin, we treat the feet, nails. It's very dangerous. And health and hygiene is a very, very, very important factor. So I'm worried about those things, the amount, the way this has been spread. Spreading is good, employment is very good. In fact, at the moment, we have a foreign trainer who has come from abroad. There are 24 people learning long hair, and there are about 10 people from Jaffna. Tomorrow's makeup class will have 17 people from Vaunia, Kilinochchi, Jaffna. I am very happy about it, but we still need to streamline.
Absolutely. So I believe you do embark on the importance, whichever field you're in, that qualification is a very important thing.
So if you take the skills standards of most of the Asian countries, apart from Hong Kong and Korea and Japan, we don't have proper education systems now in the Western world. You have to go through 2 years of hairdressing school for someone to be even qualified. So we don't have that. So we are trying to give the foundation, because I believe that as a young girl or a boy that you come to the industry, if we teach you to wash the towel, you will always wash the towel. Even if you have 2 towels, you will always wash the towel and use on a client. You don't, at the moment they don't know, should I wash the towels? They don't know, should I wash a comb? They don't know the importance of that. So that's what the foundation education, if we can give. So we have started a thing called IHB, Institute of Hairdressers and Beauticians, which is an international qualification. And it's something like SEMA, where So we support the academies, and we train the trainers, and we control the examinations. Unfortunately, better than Sri Lanka, we are rapidly expanding in India. We already have 67 schools in India.
Wow.
In 1.5 years.
That's fantastic.
I wish that speed was here too. Yeah. So.
But I believe there is hope. There is obviously a lot of hope going ahead.
There is hope. See, the problem is, whatever we do, we must get the government support and endorsement, because otherwise even you won't accept it. Nobody gets scared. People have to be scared. I have to clean, I have to have the drainage system properly, they have to have But we did get together and got the SLSI standards for hair and beauty industry. We were called to support it, we supported it, and it's finally approved now.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And on the pillars of what we call discipline and a good foundation in, like we said, any career that you start, whether it be hair and beauty or whether it be medicine or whichever you're looking at, if you as a professional, if you were giving out a message to all the young people who are either following or planning to follow this profession, let's say in 3 pointers, what are the 3 things that you would very stringently like to communicate to these people?
Discipline. Number 1 is discipline. I mean, imagine you a bride, okay? You want to be dressed at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you come to the salon at 4, and the stylist is not there. There is no point in that stylist coming at 4 or 5. Your heart is already on fire. You came at 4 and you are already on fire. Your day is ruined.
That's true.
Right? You are ruined. So, discipline is number 1. Number 2 is hard work. Number 2 is hard work. Number 3 is education, because talent is the 4th one. It is only 1/4. Talent is of no use if the other 3 are not there. So you need, I mean, you don't have the talent to be a hairdresser, so you might not do a beautiful hairstyle like me, but you will do a super neat hairstyle, but there's no art in it. So, but still you'll be a good hairdresser. Because you are disciplined, because you are working hard, and because of those working hard and discipline, you have studied well.
Studied well.
You don't have the art, the flow that I would have, but you have done a good job.
Absolutely.
So, but 99% of the people depend on talent. And the next sad thing I find, I am not insulting anybody, that's where the education comes. You can come from any family background, but you know that when people don't have something and then they don't have the discipline of that, when they have something, they go bonkers. So hairdressing is big money. So the uneducated, talented child earns money.
And then the value is lost.
The balance is lost, value is lost. So there comes the problems.
So I believe if we were giving out a very clear message to those interested, we would say that one of the most prime things here is actually get yourself educated, disciplined and trained if you want to really excel, not just in the Sri Lankan industry, but internationally as well.
Yeah.
We're going in for a quick break, and on the other side of the break, we're going to get more personal about not you as a professional, but you as a mother, as a wife, as a woman, and we're going to take it on that line. So stay tuned. It's a very exciting episode. We're here with one of the utmost and foremost professionals in the country, and we're getting out the inside story on being professional, successful, and of course a strong woman. You're right here on Game Changers on our television. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. This is Game Changers right here on our television, and we are here with the lovely Mrs. Nayana Karunaratne, who's been taking us on profession on a Sri Lankan point of view, and also about the future of young people and people in the industry currently going into the hairdressing field and the beauty field as well. But now I'm going to change the entire game, as the name suggests, Game Changers, and talk about something that is more interior. Yourself as a mother, as a woman, as a wife, as a daughter. I think you shared a lot about the daughter aspect, and it shows that your mother has really instilled some strong qualities in you, which you have passed on. When it comes to you being a mother, from being raised by a strong woman, how has your experience been as a mother?
I think sometimes being strong goes against you sometimes, because we don't wait for things to happen. We don't wait for someone to do things and all that. So sometimes you get pulled up by the others. Sometimes you do so much that all the others are happily sitting and waiting because you do things yourself. So you are always working, and you are tired, and you are all those things are there. But the the most important thing I see today is that I always say that each generation has their plus points. You know, they are more liberal, they have more chances, they have more opportunities, they have more freedom, all that. Along with that comes all the problems also. If you take the internet now, I mean, it's such a fantastic thing, but then at the same time, so many issues that you have to be careful with. So that generation has those problems. So I find in general, not to anybody particular, I find that the current generation of girls have got it mixed up a bit. Girls are educated. In fact, you can see all statistics, universities, all those things. But I find lots of girls are not focused as women. You are never ever going to challenge a man. It's not possible. If you think that, that's good. I always say a better sari and a better little more lipstick opens more doors. Because you can't. Then if I had worn a pair of pants and a jacket and a tie, it doesn't work. So I think that lots of girls today think that I don't have to do that, I don't have to do that. But I think the greatest thing for a woman is to be a woman first. So if you understand that, then housework, being a mother, being all that becomes part of you. It's not a big issue. I don't know, from life's experiences, you try to do your best. You try to handle the generation which is always different to your generation, which gives you headaches and fears. But basically, I don't know, I enjoy being a woman, doing all the things that a woman does. And work is not an issue for me. But I also find that to be a mother, actually an experience I would share with you is that I always liked children. Most of my nieces and nephews have been carried by me and brought up by me, because I love toddlers. And then when my son was born, I was really very happy. So I had an extremely organized situation of the baby and the nursing, the bathing, all that, and of course my work also properly organized. And then suddenly it dawned on me one day, my God, I can't do this alone, and I'll be extremely bored being only a mother, because now the baby is washed and bathed and he's sleeping, and I have nothing to do. What do I do? And I think, no. Then it took me 2 days to, am I right? Am I not right? Is it the right thing to do? Is it not the right thing to do? Are you being a lesser mother? So it took me 2 days to debate no, I'm going to be a working mother. I made up my mind. I don't think that choice my mother had, because she was a widow. I'm going to be a working mother. And as long as you be a proper mother and be a proper professional woman. Okay. So I decided I'm going to do that. So when you come to terms with yourself, it's very easy. But you know, lots of times when you go to these universities and all, I always ask these girls, you want a degree? Yes, that's why you have come. Why do you want a degree? Because you want a job. Good. What's the job you want? You want a good job. Excellent. Right. You want a good job. You get a good job because you have a good degree. Now, if your boyfriend says, I want my future wife to stay at home, would you stay at home or would you do a job? You wouldn't believe. Not more than 5 or 6% of the girls will say, I'll take a choice. But lots of, I will try, I will talk to him and see, I will try to no. He can't be convinced. Look, I don't like a man who tells you these things, but this gentleman is telling you beforehand, I like you to stay at home. So he's very fair. So he's right that he wants a stay-at-home wife. He's telling you before marriage. So what do you say? Then I will stay at home. This is the girl who wanted to be a managing director 2 minutes ago. Right? So she's doing a degree, but she's not sure what she would do in the future. This is what I find problems with the girls. You have to it's perfectly all right to be a housewife. It's perfectly all right to be a part-time work and a good home. It's up to you, but be focused. So I think that early decision helped me. Then as a working woman, you have to be very organized. You have to be sorted out. You can't have sugar running out, salt
That's
or
true.
sugar not
In your household,
Yeah, so
yes.
you have to get all. So I would say I enjoy. I plan quite well. I would say I plan my days quite well.
So I think planning is a very vital and integral
Very
part
vital.
of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
process. Also knowing what you want to do is important.
No, and that's exactly. See, the thing is, please don't live according to the other people.
That's true.
Please don't. Now I am not a social butterfly, but unfortunately, out of 3 functions I go to, 2 we appear in the papers. But the actual fact is, I am not a social. I can't take it. I'd rather go with my friend for a movie or a cup of tea.
But your
or
profession
well, yeah, profession
says
is
that
such
you should.
No, that's it. People think we are because we happen to be in the paper, but we are not. I'd rather. I love tapestry. I do a lot of cross
Cross-stitching.
I'd rather do those things because I don't want to live to please somebody else. So that peace of mind, if you have, and do what you think is best for you, I think life is quite easy.
That's
quite
true.
easy.
That's true.
And to the mothers, I would like to really say, please remember one thing: your child is just another child. He's God to you. He's Lord Buddha and Jesus Christ rolled into one to you, but that's not the truth. He's just another child. So if you can accept, this is just another child. He's just a naughty boy. She's just a naughty girl, and I'll do my best for my child. It becomes easy.
I think that's the most important thing in being a mother.
Because lots of people overdo. They lose the balance, and mostly the children lose the balance when they grow up.
I believe that's very true, in fact, and it's very echoing word that
Yeah,
you said
because-
there, especially for today's generation of mothers who are either quite young or sometimes too expectant. We see it in schools. The child has less ambition to achieve the first, second, third, but the parents are always
Yeah, it's wrong.
headlining.
It's really very wrong because they have not sat down for 1 minute to understand who the child is, what his talents are, what he wants to do, because every child has a talent. Every child has a focus. There is no doubt about that. And it's a competition. And the next thing is the working mothers have guilt. Please don't feel guilty. You should never feel guilty because it's quality time and not quantity time that matters. And I have a very good example. I once went to a seminar. It was for the midwives from all over the country. The gentleman before me, he was a doctor. His lecture was on, so I was listening to him till my turn came, and he asked a question: who is the best mother? Unanimously, all hands went up. Working mothers were the better mothers. All midwives agreed because they had to be organized. They had to go to work. So they were so much better organized with the newborn babies, things like that, babies, the meal, whatever that job. They 100% agreed that working mothers were better mothers. So you should never ever feel guilty. Yeah.
And on to my final question before we wrap up, and I think this is very prime because I see it in today's society. We've got a lot of young women and women in corporate world, and somehow or another, as a traditional soul myself, I feel that they've lost the essence of true presentation of yourself. I think you echoed this a little earlier on, how you would have the degrees and you have all of this, but you said that little bit of lipstick and that sari just has so much more to it, especially being Sri Lankan. I mean, open to the fact that we have Western influencers and so much more. But when it comes to a woman, that essence, I believe, is very important, even in keeping your marriage together and keeping yourself. I don't think you do it for your husband or for your boyfriend or for society, but more for yourself. What would you say with
It's
that?
a very, very simple solution. First of all, love me, and look at me lovingly. That's all. Just look at myself in the mirror lovingly. That's all you have to do. Love me first. You know very clearly. Now, as an example, now today the dresses are very much a fashion. Now we cannot. Sri Lankan bodies, most of the people cannot wear dresses. They don't look good because the dresses are made for the Western bodies. I am not supporting it, but Indian clothes suit us, Indian Pakistani clothes suit us only because our bodies are the same as theirs. I'm not saying to wear them. I'm not saying to wear them or whatever it is. But the thing is, now even a dress, maybe you could alter it, maybe it could be a little longer, maybe your arms are such that you could have with sleeves. Just because it's a fashion to wear a shift, don't do it. But it could be altered. So like that. So this, now the mistake or the shortcoming you can see in the mirror. You can see your lipstick is too strong. You can see that your hair is not right. You can see your dress is a little funny looking. You look a little too fat. You can see that. So, why don't you correct it? Because what you see is going to be seen by the rest of the people the moment you set out. So, just love you and do what is right, not to follow a fashion. Follow the fashion you like, because the choice of being it's a personality. I like traditional, I like Indian, I like Western, that's your choice. I like to grow my hair, I like to cut my hair, that's your choice. And see, even where personality, there are three main personalities. There are simple people, but simple and elegant, not simple and sloven. Then you have casual. It has to be smart casual. You are a casual person, but you have to be smart. And then, of course, the sophisticated. So, which one are you? If you are a simple, elegant person, you can never be sophisticated. Don't bother. Don't
Accept
bother.
yourself.
Accept yourself, and because you will shine anyway. Because you'll be so beautiful and so elegant. You will outdo all the sophisticated people. So that has to be understood. So just love yourself and look at yourself lovingly, not critically, lovingly, and you will see all the mistakes.
And I think also that especially goes to women who are. This is such a funny trend that even I see, women who get married, who before marriage are so well kept about themselves, and the minute they get married and then they have the child, they completely let themselves go. They don't care about their size, their hair, their nails, or whatever they look like. I think it's a sense of comfort, and this also I believe because I myself heard this in one of a presentation and lecture where everybody would blame a marriage going wrong and the cheating and all of that. That I believe that a woman also needs to keep herself attractive even for the likes of her husband, because there was built on attraction.
Yeah, and the other thing, it's a very personal thing. It's a very personal, and I would say it's not anything else but boredom, because people again go into marriage expecting it to be. I mean, will it ever happen where it's hunky dory for 35, 40 years? It doesn't happen. You are just going to live with a man or a woman who is just another human being, and it's a nice relationship, which is like a best friend you have, or a sister you have, or the mother and daughter relationship. We fight with our mother, then we get friendly, we put up with her. So it's the same thing. So without that understanding, you go in putting your 150% onto another person, and he doesn't want it. So the boredom sets in. Then you do that to the children, and you actually you harass that child of yours by forcing yourself on it. So then you get bored. So they go away from you. I have so much experience in the lectures that we do of personality development program. Recently, I did one for one of the boys' schools after O levels. So we talked about all this and this everything. So finally, okay, question time. Auntie, can you give this lecture to our mothers? That process is so this is what I find that people okay, I would say it in one sentence. To be successful, to be happy in life, do not depend on anyone, only depend on you.
Yourself.
I always say, you have the best son, he is killed by a road accident, what do you do? You have the greatest husband on earth, huh? He just drops dead by a heart attack, what do you do? Right? So it doesn't work that way. Just be happy with yourself. If you depend only on yourself, and everything else will fall in line. So this is what I think a lot of people do, and they lose their interest. So you get 2 inches fatter, then you lose interest. So that should never be done. You have to at each level. Now, if you take me, I have come to the time that there not much to do at home, because children have grown, they are gone away. So find something to keep yourself occupied. Do something. Be happy. You get up in the morning with something to look forward to. Could be gardening, could be sewing, could be social service, could be meditation classes.
Keep yourself occupied.
Yeah, just to get ready and go to meditation class, it's fantastic. My aunt is 91 years old. When she has to go for to the temple, she's excited. It takes her 4 hours to get dressed. So she's happy. She's happy, very happy. And that visit keeps you revived for the next 3-4 days.
Going.
And when your spirit goes down, then comes the next
You revive
visit.
again.
So you have to do something. That's what these people don't do. They don't value life.
And as we bring it to an end with that, on those resonating words, value life, I think that's a lovely message going out to whichever walk of life or whichever life line you are at right now, whether you're really young and just about stepping out of school, or whether you have come to your grandkids, your great-grandkids, and maybe even your great-grandkids, valuing
level,
life
each
and live for every day. Thank you so much, Mrs. Karunarathan. It's been such an enlightening moment with you. And the time you've spent with us. Thank you for taking time. I know you're a very busy lady, and all the knowledge and the love and the stories and also those little gifts that you imparted to people, which I don't think you can buy over the counter at the store. Thank you for that. We wish you all the very
Thank
best.
you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Continue your wonderful journey. With that, it's time for us to say goodbye on this episode, but keep it locked on. It's the month of March. It's the month of women, and we are celebrating it in grand style, not just here on Game Changers, but right here on our television. Join us saying, have a nice week. Take care.